All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. And we are going to, unless there's any public comment, we're going to adjourn to closed session. We have some stuff we need to discuss during closed session. Any public comment? Nope, seeing none. Okay. All right. We have nothing to report from our closed session. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. We're all present except Guy Garcia. Notice to the public. Any member of the public wishing to address the governing board on a topic within the subject matter jurisdiction of the district but not on the agenda may do so during the public comment period identified on this agenda. By law, subjects not on the agenda cannot be acted upon by the board except to briefly respond, clarify, or refer to staff for review and presentation at a future meeting. The board president will recognize you for public comment on matters on the agenda at the appropriate time. So, any correspondence? None? No consent agenda. Public comment. Any public comments? Nope. All right. And I see no guests or presentations. Okay, director's report.
Okay, the first thing is the budget report, which I bring every month. This time our accountant went and printed out all the different various budget reports available. I would bring everyone's attention to on the first page under Fund 428, the one near the bottom, the cash in treasury. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. The one that I really pay attention to is the third one in the stack here. And it goes through and it breaks down by category how much has been spent.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh yeah, sure.
We have 717,000 cash in treasury in 426 and then an additional 269 in 428.
Yeah, I think so.
So we've got, between those two funds, we have $1 million
Yeah, roughly $1 million.
cash.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I was saying, the report that I usually look at would be the third one, and it breaks down everything by category, if everyone's looking at that one. But this one I find handy because over on the far right, it'll say percentage. You can see what percentage has been spent in each of the accounts. So we're at 25% of the fiscal year, so it's easy to go through those and kind of see where we're at and see where we're over and under spending. But so far, things are pretty much on track, I'd say. There are a couple things that we've spent more than the 25%, but it was expected, like the different computer components, since we're upgrading all that.
We only spent 10% towards legal?
Let's see.
That's pretty surprising.
Yeah, that's as of now, but yeah, that'll probably go up.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all we've spent so far.
And there's your telephone services, which is, we budgeted 14,000 for, which is a little more than $1,000 a month.
Yeah, and we're right on 25% on that one.
Joe can save us money on that, right?
Yeah, I was just, with voice over internet protocol, you're going to be cutting that bill significantly. So you might, for the next meeting, we might want to add that to the agenda is, discussion of voice over internet protocol services for the library.
Okay, yeah, I should know more about it real soon.
Okay.
I'm sending the guy all the information this week, so hopefully by next week I'll know a little bit more about it.
Okay.
All right, unless there's any other questions?
I had one question, which is, do we need a bigger advertising and marketing budget? Should we be doing more to promote the library? And I'm looking at the The account, right now, I'm under the 426 fund, and I'm at account number 2281, advertising and marketing, where we've got a $1,496, $1,500 budget.
Yeah, it's certainly something we can look at next year. Most of this was just based on what we'd spent the year before.
Right.
But yeah, certainly we could discuss reallocating things.
Okay. Okay.
Okay to move on?
Go for it.
Okay.
Children's activities.
All right. We had Maine Prairie students, we had 3 classes come over to the library. Well, 3 separate groups come over to learn how to use the website and our databases. We added 2 PCs and 2 iMacs in the children's department. They're not quite set up yet, but they're physically here, and we'll be using those soon. We're doing a teen movie night. They're showing The Fault in Our Stars October 17th at 7 o'clock. We're trying to get together a teen Lego league. We still need volunteers to coach that. Anybody over 18 is eligible to be a coach if they pass the background check. So we're trying to get people to do that. That goes for 10 weeks, so it's a pretty big commitment for people.
Isn't there another movie night coming up? Or the kids' movie night?
I don't know. That's the only one I know of.
Okay.
That's the only one Adrian mentioned.
Okay.
And on the 18th of this month, Sonia Houston, a local children's writer, is going to come. Her first book was published. It was called Fudge, all about her cat accepting.
Who the cat
Herself.
is? I have a copy of that.
Oh, you do?
I have an autographed copy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
Sonia's a friend.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, she's going to be at the library on the 18th then,
Very
at
cool.
11 in the morning.
Excellent.
Okay, continuing education, we did a technology day for the public on September 21st. We had 25 people come to that. We had demonstrations on how to use the website and the databases and how the public computers are set up. The week after that, we had a staff training day where we closed the library. Most of the staff came. We had presentations on the website, how the archives work online, databases, and how to use Microsoft Publisher. And our IT person came by and gave a presentation on all the stuff that he's doing. So I think it was a worthwhile day. Something I'd like to throw in that's not on the agenda is that we're accepting donations for the Weed Library. It's a small library in Siskiyou County up near the border, just now, border of Oregon, just north of Mount Shasta. The entire library was burned down in a fire in September.
Mm-hmm.
It's a town with 3,000 people, and they lost 150 buildings.
They didn't have insurance coverage for that?
I guess not. They were asking for financial donations the first 2 weeks. Now they're asking for nearly new materials, so books or DVDs or anything that people can give. So we have donation boxes set up at the bookstore and at the library too. Let's see, next thing is the technology update. We went over a little bit of this in the closed session, but we've got the high-speed internet at the library now, which has increased the internet speed from 8 megabytes per second to over 100. That'll help with downloading pictures and movies, and the games will work better for the kids and stuff. Let's see, we have a filtering system coming, something called Deep Freeze should be installed in the next couple weeks. With that, it will shut down the public computers every time somebody uses it and erase all the information that they entered in their session. So it'll totally clear out whatever the last person's been doing, and that hasn't always been the case with the public computers. So that'll be a lot better for safety, but we also have to inform people that they can't expect to come back and find a resume that they did the day before, or that kind of stuff. So
How often will it wipe everything?
yeah, it wipes out everything clean every time somebody logs off. We're going to be adding email for all the staff starting next week. And I've also asked them to set up email for the library board too. I can have it forwarded it to your school addresses if that's okay with everyone. And so everybody.
Let us know when that happens so we can make sure we clear the spam filters on the school
Oh,
side,
okay.
because
Yeah.
stuff gets caught up in spam.
It's supposed to happen next Thursday, but you know, that's when it's supposed to happen. But that way all of the staff will have access to email too, instead of just a few of us, all the pages. And I think it'll be especially useful with the part-time people, because we have like some people that work just 4 hours a month, so it's kind of.
Are we still on, do you still operate on the old mail server then? And is Switzer in control of that mail server?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so.
All right,
Yeah, I think ProGen is
Okay,
got control
good.
over everything.
all right.
So that's it as far as the director's report.
All right, any questions? Any public comments on the director's report? Seeing none. Okay, ongoing business, 10A.
Okay, well, tonight we're supposed to go over and vote on the policy and procedure handbook. And, there's a list of all of the proposed changes after we went through the revisions. I've got 2 documents that I gave everyone, but one is a list of all of the proposed changes. The other one is a list of commentary. So none of this is really new. We've talked about it the past 3 or 4 meetings, so I don't know whether we want to discuss much of this or how people feel about it.
The only one that struck me was Scott's comment, regarding the retention and the disciplinary process, where he seemed very, adamant that writing that things would only be used for 1 year was a very bad policy.
Yeah, we talked about this last time. I'm not really sure how everyone feels about that. I see his point though.
I'm fine with what he says. The history of this was that the staff was concerned, this is going back to a prior board, staff was concerned that older reprimand letters were being used as the basis for additional disciplinary action against employees. I don't think that kind of issue, now that the commission's been disbanded and other things have changed, I don't necessarily think that that's a concern. But the whole reason that this was even entertained as a year cutoff was because of library staff concerns that some of these older letters were coming back and being used as leverage to take additional action against somebody. I'm fine with Scott's comments, and it seems to me that we probably should want to retain the discretion at the director or board level to look at prior disciplinary actions. And I think the standard really should be one of, more about reasonableness and relevance as opposed to some arbitrary cutoff. So, that was all originally raised because of the staff. I was one of the people who originally thought that, that would be fine. Most of the board, I think at that time, thought it would be fine. But on reflection, I think Scott's point is well taken, that if you create an arbitrary cutoff and something that happens a day, a week, a month later might be relevant, you can't use it. So omitting the cutoff date is probably a good idea.
Okay. Does everyone concur with
Yeah.
that?
I agree.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
I think pretty much all of Scott's responses are fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have anybody that disagrees with any of Scott's responses? Okay, we have this down as an information discussion and action item, and you're looking for action tonight, correct?
Yeah, just to vote to whether to accept the revisions or not.
All right.
So are we approving this then with the,
With the
with the revisions, per Scott's responses? Is that how we're gonna word the?
Yeah.
Minus the,
Motion?
minus the one about the, reprimands.
I'm sorry, I'm looking
So
at the
except-
letter and you're looking at a
Well, they're
different
the
page.
same, but it's the same. So the letter,
3260.3.3.3.
it's the, so, I'd make a motion to adopt the policy and procedure revisions, except for the last one, which is 3260.3.3.3.
Well, there's one other.
The jury duty.
The jury duty one. So 3060.2.3,
Oh, which is his, right, you're right.
we would
I'm
allow
sorry.
the employees to keep their jury duty pay. So with those two changes,
Yeah,
okay.
So what is our change on that? Are we following Scott's recommendation that we continue to take jury duty pay past 1 day?
so we just wouldn't make a change on that, I think. I think we just leave it.
Okay, so we would leave it that they're assigning their jury duty pay. We're just gonna leave that just as it is. Okay. So then essentially, all of the changes that are outlined in the email would be made to the policies, except that under 3260.3.3, the record of disciplinary actions would not have a cutoff date.
Okay, and that's your motion?
I think I've stolen your motion. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
It's
You can
okay.
fill it,
I'll make
second
that
it.
motion,
All right,
yeah.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any public comments on this? You have to come up to the microphone, I apologize. No,
Nope.
unless you want to.
No, it's okay. This is my first public meeting, and I don't know any of you.
Oh,
You haven't introduced yourself. I'm thinking you're Scott.
No, I'm
No.
Steve.
Okay.
I apologize.
Usually we have our name.
Yeah, we didn't have our names out tonight, I apologize. This is Steve, he's our library director.
Hello.
I'm John Gabby, I'm the library board president.
I'm Caitlin O'Halloran.
Okay.
Joe DiPola.
Andy Bloom?
And absent is Guy Garcia.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. That's.
I
that's-
apologize.
It's all
We,
right.
we'll do a better job of putting our names out there, because we do have placards with our names on them for the school district, because we also sit as the governing board for the school district. We just don't have them out tonight. So,
Okay. And another thing, why was the meeting closed at first?
we had a closed session meeting when we discussed private things like employee evaluations, stuff that we can't make public because of the privacy issues. So our closed meeting session was actually to discuss our library director's performance. We gave him a 6-month review tonight.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any other questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Miller Building.
Okay. Well, I brought this up today because we talked a little bit about what we're going to do.
The Miller Building is the building next to the library, traffic school building.
Yeah, it was the old post office at the corner of First and B Streets. Part of the building isn't being used right now, and part of it's used as a driving school at this point.
I'm sorry, but I'm not from Dixon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And sorry to be, I kind of nervous right now.
Oh, it's okay.
But my name is Jeremiah, and I live in Roseville.
okay,
That's my son. It's his community service today.
cool,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I just wanted to let you know what our Miller Building is. Basically, the library owns a few other properties surrounding the library. And so we kind of meet once in a while to give an update on what's going on with the buildings, to make sure that we're keeping them the way we need to keep them.
Okay.
And so he's going to give us an update on that building right now.
Okay.
So,
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, we recently re-roofed the building, so we can make use of it where we weren't able to make use of it before. There were some problems with water leaks, and part of the ceiling had come down, so we had to re-roof the building to make it potentially usable. So we're kind of just discussing what the future of the building's gonna be, whether it's worth repairing or renovating or whatever.
All right.
So, we, under 428, the cash in treasury is almost $270,000, and 428 is largely meant for building improvements. So it's something that we could use if we choose to do something with the Miller Building. I contacted 5 different contractors, and I didn't get any meaningful responses from any of them except one person who referred me to somebody else. So I was asking if anybody was willing to come out for free and give us a look at the building and say what it might cost to renovate it and make it usable for office space. But so far I don't really have anything because nobody was willing to do that for free. So I was wondering if tonight we might appropriate some of the $270,000 to have someone come out and evaluate the property as far as what it would cost.
Do you have
Did
any
they
idea
give
how
you-
much that's gonna be?
I'm just throwing a number out, like 5,000 maybe, but I don't know if that's, really feasible or what. I was kind of
Well,
looking for.
we had the
guidance.
architectural survey of the building, and that
Yeah,
was
we
5,000.
did that. That was 5.
Yeah. If you're gonna get a contractor, though, I assume what you're gonna do is ask him to price. I mean, it's not just feasibility at this point, because the architect has basically surveyed it for feasibility. But it would be to actually price some of the improvements or repairs that are needed.
Sort of bid the job.
Or bid the job, which they would do for free, right?
They
I
should.
would think so.
So was it that they thought you were asking for a feasibility, an architectural feasibility study, or? I mean,
I just couldn't find anybody that was willing to even come out and look at it.
you
so
said,
I
would you
wasn't-
come out and bid this job, and they said no?
Well, basically, I just did ask if anyone was willing to come and look over the property and give us an idea of what it would cost.
Well, we could, if you wanna approach it a different way, we could put out an RFP.
That's what I'm thinking, exactly.
Okay.
Let's put out an RFP for it, yeah, it's free for us to do that, and, I mean, it's your time, but it's, free for us as a entity to do that. And then I think we get a better idea, really, of what it would cost us to,
Yeah, you have to specify that we're in the RFP, that we're not obligated to accept any particular proposal, that we can literally turn every proposal down if we wanted to. And the reason why is we don't want to be in a situation where we get a limited number of proposals and we're committed in good faith to accepting some proposal. We really need to evaluate, what the costs are and where we're going. But I think an RFP would be, and I don't know whether how we want to frame the parameters of it, but it would seem to me that based on the discussions that I'd had, the ADA discussions I'd had about the Miller Building, that the second floor of the Miller Building would just be offices and archives and storage, and the first floor would be public access. You'd have to have at least one ADA approved office on the main floor in order to meet the federal and state ADA requirements if you're going to have the second floor be non-ADA accessible, okay, but you're going to put staff offices on the second floor. But essentially it would be to redo plumbing, electrical, lighting, drywall, and create office and storage space on the second floor, and office and public space, whatever you feel like you want to use it for, I think, or what do you think it's best used for? And
Right.
then, I'm sorry.
I think we should review I think maybe if you put something together in draft form and we could review it.
Yeah,
I think we wanna talk
that'd
about
be a
how
good
many
idea.
offices that we wanna see there and those sorts of things. I'd like to review that as a public, in a public forum.
Okay.
But if you put something together and then, and then we talked about it here, and then maybe we attach the architectural document to it when you put it out as an RFP, I think that would be helpful.
Maybe
Okay.
something we could do is give you a very small budget, like 1,000 or 1,500 to hire a contracting consultant to help put the RFP together, to talk about the parameters of what would be in the RFP. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was just kind of looking for guidance on how to proceed at this point. And the other thing too, I guess, to look at is the time frame. We currently are renting part of the building for a driving school, but I've talked with her and she thinks she's gonna retire next year. So we would probably just rent that space out for another year and then the whole thing would be empty. So I don't know if it's best to kind of just wait until that happens or whether we want to proceed with the RFP at this point.
It'll probably take that long to
Yeah.
get an RFP and then get plans approved by the county and, or the city and, you know, all of those sorts of things. It'll take that long to get it done anyway.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't think, yeah, there's a,
Why don't you, get a copy of her lease together and discuss with her, you know, firm up with her if there's going to be, you know, some sort of on her part termination next year, what she's looking at or what her expectations are,
okay.
okay?
All right,
So you
sounds
have
good.
your- You have your direction.
I'm sorry.
Do you,
So do you have your direction?
Yeah.
I don't
do
think
you
we
need a motion to, appropriate some money for you for some sort of a consultant to put together the RFP at this point, or
I mean,
Yeah,
if
let's do
it's-
that.
I mean, if it's less than, I mean, we might as well.
why not, should we just let him?
It doesn't
He's,
even- the
he's
budget-
authorized to do it,
Right.
but,
And I can sign off on it.
okay, that's
yeah,
fine.
let's just do that.
Let's just do that.
Okay,
So you have your
Okay.
direction.
all right, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. And last item is approval of the minutes. September 11th and September 25th.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any public comments? Any board comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. No new business.
No?
All right, any announcements? Joe? No? Andrew?
Nothing.
Catlin?
No.
All right, and none for me. Meeting adjourned.